With Xbox's press conference wrapped up for E3 2019, we have a lot to discuss when it comes to the Discover Hope trailer that we got a chance to see at E3 this year. So in this video, I'm going to give you an analysis, a breakdown of all the little tidbits you may have missed when it comes to this, as in things like hitting little bits of information like the coding that was shown in the boot up screen of Master Chief's visor. And also we have a little bit more of a reference towards Zeta Halo, kind of reconfirming what we know from the initial trailer launch of Halo Infinite. A little bit of the, it looks like the AR from Reach is going to be inside this game as well. The time and setting of this game, as well as a potentially new Cortana AI potentially referenced in with this. Stay tuned throughout the whole video to understand all the details. How's it going, everybody? It's Kevin here once again, give you another news information update when it comes to Halo Infinite. As we all know, the Discover Hope trailer was launched at E3 this year, and so we're going to break it all down for you guys. So if you like these kind of news informational analysis videos, please make sure to tap that like button, as it lets me know you want to see some more content like this. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on Halo Infinite's presentation at E3 this year. Were you a little bit let down? Are you happy about what you saw? Me personally, I'm pretty excited about what I got a chance to see. I'm a little let down from one of the sources I did read about online, but I guess I got myself a little too excited. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay updated with anything involving Halo, that's Halo Infinite, Halo MCC coming to PC, Halo 5, and everything else in between, make sure to tap subscribe with the bell, because we all know sub feeds be kind of weird at times. So let's get right into the video here. So rather going scene by scene and making like a 40-minute long analysis of the trailer of irrelevant information and just speculating the whole time, I'm going to go into some in-depth stuff that you might have missed throughout this entire trailer. So let's get right into the information here. The one thing we can kind of pretty much reconfirm is the time and date of this game. As we do know, these take place after the events of Halo 5, and actually get a specific date mentioned here. And the screenshot during the boot up screen of Master Chief's visor, you see created by Materials Group C on February 10th, 2559. Last modified date by Catherine Halsey, by the way, on September 19th, 2561, which is actually 3 years after the events of Halo 5. So if you compare this with the date that we saw in the Pelican back in the announcement trailer, which showed 5/27/2560, so comparing that with the date that we see now in this trailer, it shows a little bit about a year and a half after those events as well. Now, is there anything to take really into consideration when it comes to this date and time? I don't know. I mean, nothing's been confirmed about that. We don't know what time frame within the story these steps take place, obviously, but it's something kind of take note of, that obviously these take events after everything that's happened, years after the events of Halo 5. And since we do know that this game does take place after Halo 5, though it is still a bit of a reboot, as mentioned on Waypoint, we'll get into that article in another video. Mentioned here in this other screenshot during the boot up screen of Master Chief's visor, you see preparing AI intrusion countermeasures. Now it looks like the UNSC has actually taken steps to make sure that anything AI related can have some countermeasures to it, so we don't fully rely on it, as obviously Cortana went a bit rogue on us in Halo 5, and so that's still canon. That's still part of the story of Halo as a whole, and it looks like we're gonna have something similar like that in Halo Infinite. I just thought it was an interesting little thing to bring up as well. Also, during the boot up screen, you can see a bunch of different numbers and letters kind of all scattered around right here. This is actually turned out to be a hex code, which if you actually look into it even further, it does spit out a bit of a code for us right here. Someone was actually able to translate that into some coding we can see in the bottom right here. Now it's obviously kind of broken up, jumbled, kind of tough to read, but you can kind of see it kind of says believe in the top bar, a little bit of it in the third line. Looks like it kind of says believe again, and then something else, and then kind of believe something else like that. It's some kind of bit of a reference towards the Halo 3 campaign, marketing campaign of believe. But an interesting thing I saw brought up on Reddit is in the second line of code, it says DI space AC blank blank, and so possibly this could be Didact, as in Didact is actually technically still alive. If you guys read Halo Escalation, I believe the second part of it or whatever, half of it, the Didact is still alive, lived through Halo 4's events. He wasn't dead, he just fell through a slip space, and so you can see his DICACT could totally fit in there. So possibly Didact coming into Halo Infinite, which would be very cool. Now, this is just a date, but it is a date and it's set to this year. in Master Chief's visor. I just want to let you guys know about that. And this screenshot shows Armor BIOS Mjolnir version 12.22.19, which does translate to December 22nd, 2019, if you want to look into it as a date, which there's plenty of little hidden gems within the coding of Master Chief's visor when he booted up. So but people I saw on Reddit talking about how this could be potentially a date for the beta, as I do believe that the Halo 5 beta happened in December as well, back in 2014. So it certainly could be something to take note of. So this is obviously just pure speculation, but I'm just saying, like, the way that this was dotted out is exactly a date that would happen this year, which I would expect something by that time of this year to get a chance to get our hands on some Halo Infinite hotness. And as you saw probably in the beginning of the video, the nice shot of Chief walking towards a cartographer room, it looks like, or the interface with the Halo ring, the assault rifle that he had on his back, it looked very different than what we've known from a traditional Halo assault rifle. Very different from Halo 5, as you can see that the barrel of it kind of sticks out from the model of the gun, which the only other Halo rifle that ever done that was the Halo Reach assault rifle. Now this does seem to be a bit of a inspiration from that assault rifle, but it's very similar to it. If you check it out here, you can see it's almost identical to it pretty much, which is obviously a fantastic looking assault rifle there. Now some rumors have been going around saying that the pilot, if you look at his badge, it has the old school UNSC insignia, which is something that they kind of rocked with back in the day during like Reach or CE even. And then some people are even saying that this guy might have been stranded out since Halo Reach, and that's why they've had the assault rifle from Reach on there. Speculation, obviously, but I do believe that kind of falls more into just the redesign of things, or kind of get pulled back the classic elements of Halo that we know and love. I'm going to show you guys another screen here of the coding boot up screen, as there was a lot of little tidbits of information. I know I'm hammering this on pretty hard, but there was a lot of things to kind of pick out of this whole thing. So if you look at the left side of the screen, you can see a bunch of different kind of abbreviations of different kind of system checks that are happening. And actually, our friend on YouTube here, Halo Cannon, Ian, kind of broke it down to what he thought these different codes mean. So he said, so I have SYS as in system, which would be standard PWR, power would make sense, LFS for life support, VSR for visor or visor, kind of system we want to talk about, WPN for weapon, ABL, very interesting, which could potentially stand for ability, which would be Spartan abilities coming back to Halo Infinite. Again, pure speculation. I'm just mentioning that how this could be something interesting. And run equal possibly sprint. Now, run could be very different things when it comes to coding. It could be like run program, run check, not necessarily sprint or anything like that. But say, this is all just kind of the things we're just kind of be able to speculate on. It's all we can do right now. And so I'm just pointing these things out for you guys. So these are little tidbits I could have just flashed real quick. You could have missed out on, and something that would be interesting to kind of know about. And with Ian Halo Cannon, he is a lore guy, right up there with Hidden Xperia and anybody else up there. He's one of the best out there. If you want anything lore related, you want to get a hold of Halo Cannon or Hidden Xperia. These guys are the best for sure. Now, an interesting thing I thought was a real sneaky little plug within this trailer for the Xbox Game Pass. That's right, there was a plug for it in here, and that's when Chief's visor boots up, you see authentication key, and then these numbers in orangey yellow kind of color. Now those actually cycle through a bunch of different numbers, pretty much every single scene, literally every single scene for like 60 frames per second, every frame. And so these were actually authentication codes that have a 3-month trial to the Xbox Game Pass Deluxe Edition. And so, I tried out a few of these codes. They were all already taken, guys. I'm sorry, but these nerds on the internet are thirsty for these codes, let me tell you. And I thought that was a real sneaky little plug for the Xbox Game Pass thrown into this trailer. Now, another thing I want to bring up here is actually it looks like Master Chief's armor had a bit of a redesign from the initial launch trailer to the Discover Hope trailer. If you look at the initial announcement trailer, you can see obviously this image that we've freaking dissected to a crazy degree. It looks like Master Chief's armor, yes, but take a very considerate look at this armor. As you can see, it looks like this, but then you switch over to the next version of it. The left leg armor does look quite different. It covers a bit more of Master Chief than the previous armor did. As you can see, the armor goes a little bit more into the inner thigh of Master Chief, where in the announcement trailer it's much more open, more minimal, where this one definitely looks more like armor that covers you up. And honestly, Chief looks really freaking beefy in this trailer as well, guys. Like, if you compare it to what we saw in the announcement trailer, like, his legs, like, he looks pretty thin. He's a thin, fit guy. But then actually in this trailer that we saw for the Discover Hope, Chief is a freaking human tank. Like, this guy is beefy. Master Chief looks basically like the Mountain from Game of Thrones in this trailer. He's beefy. Hashtag Beefy Chiefy. Now, as in the last trailer we saw in a Pelican console, that obviously there was a little bit of a tidbit of information. This time we have pretty much a reconfirmation that Zeta Halo seems to be the location that this game will be taking place at. Now, the center console shows a bit of some blips and some information on there, kind of just generic information. But if you look in the bottom, it's rather blurry, but in a higher res that I was able to look at, I wasn't able to really find a good picture of it for you guys. But if you look at the bottom, it looks like it kind of says like zone ref Zeta. If you kind of go to, I kind of highlighted what it said down below. It looks like it says local ref Zeta, which would definitely be like local area that we're in, referencing Zeta Halo. Kind of reconfirming what we know about that. Obviously, we all saw in the trailer that Master Chief was holding a AI chip when he kind of came to it, and we looked at the chip, and you can kind of make out what the serial number says on it. And if you look really closely, it looks like it says CTN 04530, which is interesting because Cortana's serial number is CTN 04529. So this technically would be the next version of Cortana potentially. I got a list of all the different AIs that have been noted within the Halo lore, and all of them have the same kind of very abbreviation of like what their name would be. So you can see like Roland from Halo 5 is RLD, Gabriella is GBA, Isabella is ISA. So their abbreviations do mean something. It's not just a random coordination of letters. So having CTN in it definitely means a Cortana chip. But this one is 40530, where the Cortana that we know and love from like Halo 3, that chip was 452-9. So I guess, you know, that fear of Cortana had back in Halo 4 about getting paired with a new Cortana AI, it could potentially be true. But this chip is empty. Now, this could mean something, because towards the end of the trailer we saw Chief take out the chip at the back of his helmet, and it looks like he was probably going towards some hologram energy ball AI thing that could have been handing off Cortana to interface with the Halo ring, much like we did in the previous Halo games 1 through 3 as well. Now, this also kind of lines up with what we saw in the initial Halo Infinite trailer. Back at the end of that trailer, you saw Master Chief collect the little AI chip into his head, but it looked like it had an active AI in it. And if you looked at the code, you zoomed in on it, it does show 0453-0, pretty much the exact same code as the Cortana chip that we saw in the Discover Hope trailer as well. Now, I'm just kind of connecting dots on this one, but it does seem like at some point we're going to have a Cortana model with us, and then we're going to lose it at some point. Either at the beginning or at the end, in the middle, don't know. It just seems like that's kind of the hints that 343 is giving us at the moment. And lastly, you guys, I just want to show a fantastic comparison screenshot that I found online as well, just kind of showing where we started and where we're going to go. You can see these different control rooms right here on Halo 1 on the left side and Halo Infinite on the right side. A little different, as you can see, a few more polygons, just a few. It's just cool to see how far we've gone from 2001 to what's going to be 2020 in the fall. I wanted to avoid all the basically obvious details that we didn't need to go to. I wanted to give you guys something you might have missed throughout this trailer. But otherwise, guys, it was a really good look at the trailer. Really just kind of more showing off Master Chief, his armor set, which looked absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best designs of Master Chief I've ever seen in Halo. So leave it in the comment section down below, guys, what your thoughts are on this video, what your thoughts are on the Discover Hope trailer. Did you enjoy it? Do you feel a little left down what was shown at E3? Are you looking forward to the future? It looks like we're going to see a little bit more at the inside Xbox live stream, giving us a little bit more information on the whole thing. We don't know how much more detail. I'm assuming it's going to be very surface level, but we'll see what happens. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to tap that like button. Lets me know you want to see some more content like this. Greatly helps out the video and channel for more people to know more information about the Halo Infinite awesomeness that we're getting into right now. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on the video, where I can improve. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay updated with anything Halo related, that's Halo Infinite, Halo MCC, Halo 5, everything in between, make sure you tap subscribe with the bell to keep up to date with anything awesome on the channel. If you're new to the channel or missing any content from me, check out the videos on the screen right now, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.